Given the emerging axis of authoritarian countries, would it be more productive to start developing the urgently needed effective, accountable transnational governance amongst the world's democracies, rather than the United Nations? Now, who'd like to come in on that? Yes, Arthur.
We addressed this at the end of our governance book, saying, ideally any intelligent community would call for a UN Reform Conference and bring about the changes needed. Clearly, the UN is paralyzed by these fatal flaws. We then said the alternative would have to be a UN replacement conference, where those willing governments who saw the need for it, if it was a great majority, could already create a better organization, get it up and running, give it a stronger independent funding mechanisms, was not dependent on countries, any one country with global taxes funding it, global taxes, and leave out those few countries that refuse to take part until they finally, you sort of offer to buy out and merge with the old structure or let it collapse. We went through this in World War I and World War II already, and we're looking as though we're maybe heading towards another major crisis, which may mean that the whole system will collapse, and therefore we're saying, what do we build after that process of crisis and collapse that we're looking in the eyes at the moment? That's the reality that we're facing. I sometimes say, well, maybe the best solution to climate change would be a nuclear winter for a few years to cool down the planet very quickly, and maybe in the longer term that would be a better interest than any other solution that's tried at the moment. The need for collective security, a federated world government system with a single currency, is part of our teachings from the 19th century. World government, part of the foundation of the Bahá'í vision of the oneness of humanity being part of one single planetary system. So you might say it's inherent in the foundation of beliefs of our faith. So it's quite logical that we would, from our professional perspective, say, how can we take our core values and phrase them in terms of the needs of today to try to move towards that vision that we've had for more than 100 years? It's perfectly normal that we have government in our local community, that there's some kind of a mayor, that there's decisions taken for the benefit of the community. We accept it perfectly normal that we have a national government. And we imagine what our country would be like if we didn't have a government, we didn't have any kind of laws. It was just anarchy or so on and so forth. The two countries are falling to that state today, unfortunately. So it's perfectly logical that in a globalized world, we need the same kind of institutions at the global level.